We are joined in the media center by your funny car winner, Bob Tasca. Bob, this is your second win of the year, second here in Norwalk. Aaron Stanfield kind of led me into my question. He said that there's no gimme runs and no gimme rounds. You had a pretty tough day. Walk us through your race day.
Hey, listen, hats off to Todd Okahara and Aaron Brooks. You know, leaving Bristol, we were pretty disappointed. We actually have the go slow setup on the car. Leaving Bristol, we just made a decision. We're taking all the fast stuff off, put all the go slow stuff on, and we just got to get back to going down the racetrack, period. And it's hard to do for those guys because they're about as aggressive guys that I've ever seen. I'm an aggressive guy, but like we got to go down the racetrack. And I think we're like 14 out of 15 runs now since Bristol going down the racetrack. And that's what it takes to win. And they just did an incredible job this weekend. Friday, Saturday were some of the more challenging conditions that we've ever seen. And the car runs 88, 88, 89, like a bracket car. And then we come out this morning, I said, guys, really? Like 85 in the first run at like 336, really? Like, have you lost your mind? Because when you gave us the go slow stuff, we got to figure out how to make this go fast. And you know, that actually scared me a little bit. And then second round was a strong run against Paul Lee. And then, you know, against Brock, you know, I said it jokingly, but I wasn't joking that much. You know, last night all they did was piss us off. Like, we were not happy about losing Saturday night. And, you know, we got it done. You know, it was a little bit of me and a whole lot of them. And we won that round. And then you go against Caps and, you know, we knew he could run 88. We probably figured he was going to try to take a swing at us. And the one thing that these guys, like, they mentally can't deal with getting picked off. We call it getting picked off, where you just small ball it and somebody picks you off. And we went up there loaded pretty good. I don't know. We got to look at the runs. I think it might have put a hole out. It put a hole out because I felt it nose over. It put a hole out on the 336 mile per hour run, put a hole out. And it leaned over, and I said, oh, no. And we got the win. I obviously didn't know he smoked the tires, but just hats off to those guys. They're just really a special group.
You know, you dedicated the win to John Force. Yeah. You've been emotional all day long. You spent a lot of time with John Force. You told us many times in the past that John Force taught you how to race the way you do, and that's why you performed so well against him. Just talk a little bit about that and being able to deliver on this day.
Yeah, it was it's tough. He's a pretty incredible person to meet personally, and don't know if I want to be out here without him, to be honest with you. And he doesn't have to be in a car. He's just been an inspiration to me and my family. And just want him to get better.
Yeah. No?
Last year you came here and you really made your stake for your claim for the championship at the end of the year. You come back a year later, you take out Austin Prock, you've been on a warpath with for the last year, and then Robert the year prior, and then you take out Caps as one of the championship contenders come the end of the year. How much does this fire you up coming back 1 year later and seeing just how much this has transformed in the last 12 months?
Well, we lost the championship by 17 points. I mean, can't get any closer than that, right? Yeah. So we know we have everything we need to go compete and run for a championship. You take a really good driver, an Austin Prock, great driver, and you put him in a car that has been as dominant as any car over the last decade, not like a year, the last decade. And what do you get? You get a great car, right? So they got 5,000 runs. We have probably about 300 runs on our setup. We're just fighting. We're just fighting, doing the best we can, battling, making changes. Like, people in the sport, I don't even think would believe some of the shit that these guys have changed. Like, from the 341 run to a setup that was even faster, that we just couldn't get to go down a racetrack that had any temperature in it at all, back to another setup that is kind of like in between them to get through the summer so we can go back to the fall and then go try to like tear their heads off. Like, it's unbelievable what Todd and Aaron have been able to put together. And you see it out here. Like, you know, I'm not surprised when Proc goes out and runs unbelievable. That's what we expect him to do. But to see what this Ford Performance car runs and the limited time that Aaron and Todd have been together, this is the first time they've ever worked together the last year and a half, pretty impressive. So, you know, the best is yet to come for this team. We're still learning, we're still testing, we're still kind of dialing up our setup. But I like our chances. You know, if you're gonna bet against me, well, I don't know if I'd bet against this team right now.
Mr. Tasca,
In case any of you didn't know, today's my 18th birthday.
happy birthday.
Does it feel better winning on such a special day?
You know, there's no pressure. My son wakes up. You know, we had two birthday cakes for him last night, and you know, I didn't immediately wish him a happy birthday this morning. He said, "Dad," I called my wife, and she's, you know, "You forgot to wish Cameron a happy birthday." I said, "No, I didn't. Like, it took me maybe 3 minutes in the ride here." And he said, "Dad, you know, I want a Wally for my birthday." And I said, "Well, no pressure, Cam. But yeah, 18th birthday, I'm gonna definitely get him a Wally, and Cam, happy birthday."
Thank you.
Aw. Logan?
Given the circumstances of the weekend, given that it is your son's birthday, given the emotions, what's this mean win to you, and is it going to be an all-time one that sticks out forever?
It's a special win. I mean, you don't realize how hard it is to win. Like, it's hard. It's harder than anyone gives it credit for. There's 1,000 things out of your control that have to go your way to win. And one goes wrong, you lose. So all of these wins are hard fought and special. But this weekend, you know, for me, you know, to be able to stand in front of that camera and talk to Forrest and his family, which I know they'll be watching, meant everything to me. And to give this kid a trophy for his birthday, and this way he doesn't have to aggravate me anymore, that meant a lot too. But no, this is a special one. This is a special place. I've won here 3 times. Won in my alcohol car, twice in the fuel car. I've been to the finals, I think, a couple more times. I know I got whipped a few years back by Cruz. I don't forget that. But this is a great place to race. You know, the passion, the fans. You know, Bader is just one of the best all-time track promoters. So it's a fun place to come.
Bob, in a couple weeks, we're gonna have a couple weeks off, and then we're gonna head west. We are roughly the half point. Is this important to heat up at this time of year?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I've said the season breaks into 3 parts. It'll always be this way. It's the first 5 or 6 races when the conditions are thrown down, and the real performers, you can tell. The guys that can run mid-low 80s, and those that can't.
Right.
And then you got to survive the summer, which for us looked ugly, quite frankly, until we made some changes. Because you got to survive the summer, because you don't want to go into the countdown 7th or 8th and know that you have a car that can run 380 in the countdown. Well, that don't help you.
Right.
And then you get to the countdown, and if you can't run low 80s consistently, mid 80s consistently, you're probably not going to win the championship. That's just the harsh reality of it. I've been there, trust me. And we have a car that has now proven to the field we can run the low 80s, 340, and we can run in the heat now, which look out, because we couldn't do that a few races ago. And then when the conditions get good, trust me, we'll know how to go back to those go fast setups.
Bob, congratulations.
Thank you very much.